Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 206 of Moogle Radio. We're back, Paul. We're back. After 2 weeks, we're back. How are you doing today, Paul?
I am nervous. I am busy. I am running around like a headless chicken.
Oh, okay. Why? I'm confused.
So I have a tournament. I have a Warhammer tournament this Saturday.
Ooh.
And I'm trying to finish painting. I'm trying to finish my travel box because I got a new travel box to put together to put them all in. Overall, I'm just making them look nice. And now I've just learned that there are no trains from where I live to where I need to go. So now I'm going to have to try and find a bus.
That's even worse.
It is when you have to take a whole army with you. Because I don't drive. I don't drive anymore. I used to. Don't drive now. But yeah, so I've been pretty busy this week. And the paint fumes, the glue fumes, and, kind of got to me yesterday where I didn't pass out, but I had a raving headache, and I was like, I need to open up a window, and I need to lie down. So I kind of passed out for a good 7-8 hours, roughly.
I've just been eating food. It was my birthday today.
Yes, we also. Yeah, happy birthday, Chili!
Thank you. I am 38 today. I'm so old. By the way, I don't know if the waiter was flirting with me, but big shout out to the waiter for all the free stuff that he gave me. So
you wanted that big tip.
He gave me a free drink while I was waiting for the food, and then when I got the food, it was lovely. And then when I got the main meal, I ordered mac and cheese. I didn't really like mac and cheese, and he's like, "Oh, we won't charge you for it." I'm like, "No, it's my fault. I ordered for it. I pay for it." And then, after I finished the meal, I'm like, "Oh, can I order dessert?" And he's like, "Why are you ordering dessert? I'm going to bring you one for free." And he brought me a dessert platter for free as a birthday gift. So, big shout out to that. You could hear the table across from me mumbling about how they wish they'd said that it was their birthday. Because... so big shout out. But I found out, it wasn't just me. There was another group of people that came in that someone was celebrating their birthday, and they also got so big shout out to the restaurant. It's really nice for them to do stuff like that. So anyway, but that's enough about me and the food. You can go check out Discord if you want to see more about it. Today we've got much more important things.
Ribeye Wagyu. Oof.
Yeah, we've got much more important things to talk about. Aether Entertainer is a wonderful Fantasy 14 community-based magazine where they have covered many different content creators in the past, including us. I'm sorry about that issue. I know that was probably one of your worst ever read issues of all time. But we were in one issue. But they've had people like Husky by the Geek. They've had Java, aka the voice of Bakil Jar Jar. They've had so many different wonderful content creators. They've had Syndicate Scribe. They've had so many. Please go check them out before we even get. But we have some of the wonderful staff here. We have Joseph. Hey, Joseph.
Hello.
We've got. I knew I'd say your name. We said it before the podcast. I'm like, how do I say your name?
Okay.
Now my brain is like, name again.
Nearzy.
Nearzy. We got Nearzy. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
And we got Vendetta.
Hello.
They're here to celebrate 3 years of the wonderful magazine. If you're not subscribed to it, you don't go check out their website now. Do it right now. Do it. This is an audio podcast. You can do both at the same time, unless you're watching it live, in which case maybe have a separate tab open to go check. Anyway, congratulations before we start on 3 years. That is an amazing accomplishment.
Thank you, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Moogle Run's hitting 9 years this year, so it's been been a crazy time. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So before we get into the Q&A stuff, because I do want to ask you some questions, because you have so many different major events. We do have some Fantasy 14 news to talk about. I feel like we can probably skip that part. I kind of just want to, some of the stuff I kind of want to bring up mainly is I want to bring up the PvP tournament, which is a PvP tournament being hosted by some wonderful parts of the community. They're free, and we've had them on in the past, Rookery. They'll be hosting a EU tournament, and more information will be dropping on January 27th. So if you play in the EU and you do like PvP, you can check out the Crystalline Conflict Community Cup for Europe. Do any of you enjoy PvP at all?
I've
Have you
done
stepped in?
it. I'm slowly getting better. It's a process.
I'm really bad at PvP. Really bad.
I
You
love
know,
the aesthetics of the jobs in PvP.
all of the PvP gear looks nice. I came from WoW, and I used to PvP a lot in WoW, but for some reason, I just can't get into it in FF. I don't know why. I've never been able to figure it out, but I'm
Maybe
always
it's the
envious of the
server
gear.
ticks.
That's probably part of it. I'm sure. I mean, it's a way different game, but I wanted to get into PvP coming into it, especially seeing the special things you get for doing PvP, but it's just never stuck with me.
The rewards will be coming back someday, guys. They'll come back someday.
Yeah, I will be
Yeah,
bringing that up at
Yeah,
some
just like
point with
hats in
them.
Vieira. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like
Ugh,
hats in Vieira.
Don't even remind me.
Yeah, it is what it is. False promises.
They will have to bring back the the gear someday. Like there's so little stuff in the crystal trophy, the trophy crystal shop that they can easily just add it there. In my opinion, like I have so many trophy crystals I don't use because I don't like most of the gear that they sell for it. Like, no, I know that sounds mean, but I really don't like a lot of the sold PvP stuff. I don't like the stuff that you get for free from the series. I've found nice. But the actual NPC items, no. They can keep most of them.
Some of them are okay. Like the
Yeah,
was it? I think like there's like a pair of like long gloves that have like I call them claws, but claws for like like 2 fingers and like your thumb.
Oh, that's the
Very,
Black
like,
Mage glove, isn't it?
Black Mage. I think White Mage has it as well. It's very evil. It's really cool.
There's some
They're
nice
really cool.
individual pieces, yeah, and then there's some of the recolors for the level 60 and 70 artifact gear. Maybe mostly 70.
but if you've been doing your series battle pass, there's a huge chance you could have just bought most of that by now. So, I do recommend people do the series. I know it's the ranked, but by the way, before we move on, I just want to say, Square, why did you call it series and season? I was on social media when they announced that the new season has ended because everyone was panicking saying that they haven't finished 25 on the battle pass yet. And I was like replying to the tweets, trying to calm them down, being like, no, you've got until probably March for that. Don't worry. You've got time. You've got time. They're like,
I
oh my
honestly
God,
don't know the difference. It's one or the other. I'll look on social media or talk to someone. I don't know.
yeah. But they're like,
I think
oh
why
my
a lot of
God,
people get.
I've got to grind 25 levels in like 2 weeks. I'm like, no, calm down.
I mean, a lot of people get scared of that because every other company has called it a season pass, which what it basically is, it's a season pass.
That's a battle pass. They just,
And it's a battle
the fact that
pass.
they called it a season and series is just confusing. Like,
Yeah,
it's not good. It's bad wording. Now, before we get
I
into
haven't
the
done it.
interview, I do want to bring up something quickly. We at Moogle Garand do not promote mods. We will not stop people from using like glamour mods if you want to enjoy yourself, but we do not support. Just a warning that something is going around that I've seen on Reddit and also Twitter that if you do install it, I'm going to tell you now that you will be banned. So please, please, please do not push the barrel. We do not want you to be losing your account. Please. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I just want to warn everyone that this is definitely something that Square Enix will step down on. And I'm not talking about the other one that happened. Like there's been this is another one on top of the one that happened a couple of weeks ago that we didn't want to talk about. Again, we don't want to talk about it because we don't promote it. But if you know what it is, you know what it is, and you should not use it. Again, I will not stop anyone from using cosmetic mods. I feel like if you want to make your character look how you want it to look like, that's your decision. You should be able to enjoy your character because it's a symbolization of you, and like it doesn't affect anyone else. That's no issue. I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying that because all mods are bad, but you know what I mean. I personally had no issue with that. Enjoy what you want to enjoy, but the moment you do something like this, please, I just want to warn you that like you might think you're not going to get banned, but you will. You will. I played 11. This stuff got. I remember when people got banned because their BIOS clock was wrong. Like Square can be crazy sometimes. Right. No joke. That really happened. someone found out that the flea was based on the time clock of your system, and because their BIOS clock died, their clock on the Windows was wrong, so their flea lasted 1 second too long than it should have, and that triggered the server, and they got banned for it. So yeah, Square can sometimes be quite ruthless.
Yeah, I know what mod you're talking about. Definitely don't promote it even.
Yeah, please do not use it. Okay, and then before we move on to the Q&A, I just wanna say, where's the live letter? We really need a live letter soon, because like there's a 2-week gap between live letters, which means that unless we get when saying not soon, I mean like we should get an announcement of it soon, because if we don't get an announcement soon, then I'm worried that the patch 7.2 will probably be end of March, which, when consider the fact that the actual last patch was November, right? That's a long time between content. Anyone's
So
thoughts
why
on
is
that?
Savage still locked?
Yeah.
You have a whole ultimate that came out. Why is Savage still locked?
I mean, Chaotic gives gear equal to Savage.
Or why is it still locked?
Yeah.
It doesn't give weapons, does it?
No, just gear. Well, just the armor, should we say? Well, anyone's thoughts on the live letter not coming out yet? Does anyone think it should be soon?
I think it's worrying.
I don't really keep up on live letters. I mostly just watch the breakdowns later, but as someone who has done Savage, I mean, at this point, I'm just gonna keep my expectations low. I'm sorry.
I guess I kind of feel the same about the Savage content. I didn't finish this tier. It's one of the only tiers in the game that I haven't finished. I don't know if I agree that the game state is I don't think we're in a good game state at the moment for Savage personally, but I'm not a
I
raider
kind of
anymore.
agree. I loved the aesthetics and the fights were fun, but the jobs themselves are in a very unique state where a lot of them feel redundant. I main healer, but I did DPS last expansion, and honestly, if I didn't get hand pain from playing Bard, I'd probably play that more, because it feels like the only unique job where you have to think about your class, and yes, there's a 2-minute burst, but you have to juggle a bunch of other things, while the majority of the other jobs, they kind of just play the same, and they're slowly monotonizing all the other jobs to make them play the same. I really hope they do their whole 8.0 job change. But if I'm being honest, I don't really have large expectations because they said they were going to... let me rephrase that. Back in Endwalker, post-Endwalker, they said they were going to majorly overhaul jobs in 8.0, but it's like, why can't you change them a little bit in 7.0 if you know it's a problem? I don't know. They need to hire more employees. Their team is small, and I think there's only like 6 battle developers, let alone job developers.
Well, that's why I know so people are going to hate me for this, but I really hope that they cut down the amount of new jobs in the next expansion down to 1 new job, but
I
then
agree.
have the time that's used for those jobs to be used on the current jobs. So have 1 new job, which would probably be physical ranged, right? I think.
Yes, I believe so.
So 1 new physical ranged, and then, because we've got 2 maiming, we've got 2 scouting, we've got 2 striking, we've got 2 shield healers, we've got 2 pure healers, we've got 2 shield tanks or off tanks, got 2 main tanks technically. Well, no, we've got 3, right? Brain.
Tanks are tanks.
Yeah, they're all kind of just the same.
Tank or main tank.
Yeah,
They're just
tanks. Well, no, because Square does, at least it used to do internally, split them apart. Like, I still remember at one point they joked about the fact that Paladin wasn't designed to do coil on its own. They said, the Paladin can't be coil. I'm like, really?
Tanks can basically do the same. And now they've changed, was it Gunbreaker's thing, where they don't go down to 1 HP? Basically, to the entirety of the job's aesthetic.
It's because of the freaking server ticks. If they would just fix the netcode, because it's an issue with healers too. Like, my tank will go down super low. I'll hit Benediction, but because of the server latency, it doesn't heal them. My Benediction goes on cooldown. They die. The same thing was happening with Super Ballide, where they would hit Super Ballide, but between them going down to 1 HP and the invuln being applied, they would get killed. So honestly, it's a server latency issue. Until they fix the netcode, it's just going to keep being issues. The issues are just going to be compounded. I mean, we hit the buff limit back in Omega Ultimate.
Yeah, I remember that. But so look, it's just look, Gunbreaker. I know you're getting on in age, and it's fine. I know you're just shooting blanks with your super bolide now. It's okay. It happens.
Shooting
to
rubber
the best.
bullets.
It happens to the best of us.
Like, I'm also a healer main, and every time I've heard like Super Bolide go off, because I can hear the cue, and now I don't get excited. I used to get excited. I'm like, oh yeah, I can heal them real quick. I don't get excited no more because they don't go down. It's like,
Yeah. It's so free now. It could potentially be the best invuln. Because my husband does Gunbreaker. I'll force him to pull everything. And just, he can use Super Ball. Now I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll give you a regen. I don't know.
I don't care. Back to Holy, back to Glaring. I'm just in my own world. It's not. To be fair, I haven't played. I did take a break over Christmas, and I've only recently got back into playing like properly. I still raid. I was like raiding over the Christmas break, but when it comes to like playing, I was like, yeah, I'm not really enjoying anything. I'm not really enjoying any classes. I just play healer. I play Astro or play White Mage. Literally.
My cards.
Yeah. Astro,
Don't get me started.
Astro is.
Oh. My astrologian.
I love it because when we raid, we sit there and then because my raid team, they use certain mods to see dick measuring size. And like, I have my Dragoon's like, yeah, I'm playing so well. I'm all the crits, and they see the painter.
Oh.
Okay, it's not called a painter, it's called Picto. It's called Picto. Just literally do the most simplest rotation known to man, and they're like top of the board. They're up there. No, like, no.
At the same time, though, it's such a unique play style. So it's like, do we want to nerf the damage? Do we want to make that play style the same as all the other classes? Because from what I've heard of the Pictomancer players, they really like playing it. They don't necessarily care about the damage. It's just a unique job. But then all the other jobs, they're just turning in stock your resources, burst during 2 minutes, stock your resources. Like, I get that some classes should do that because it's a play style. But why are we making everything the same? Like, all of the capstone abilities, they were just like other 2-minute abilities. Like, why on earth is my big heal as a white mage connected to my wings? Why is everything connected to my 2 minutes now? It's just even more buttons to mash.
Yep.
Give me my 2 hours like in 11. Sorry. I don't know if you ever played Fantasy 11.
I didn't play 11, but I have played 14 since like 2.0. And
well,
they really standardized everything to where it's the same. Like what Octanes used to be strong at gathering ads, but now all of the tanks pretty much do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, in 11, every main job had one ability. Well, I think it's been changed to an hour now, but you could use it once every 2 hours real life. Yeah. So yeah.
You know what, guys? We're gonna spend an hour learning mechanics, but when we feel like we've got the mechanics down, that's when we use our big buffs, and then we try and go for the kill. You know what?
Yeah,
I want that playstyle. Bring that to Raiden.
I'm still salty about that. I never got that kill because there's a boss called the we see the Shadow Lord in this, but there was a boss called the Dynamis Lord, which was like a stronger version. And after 50% health, he would spam AoE Doom. So you have to have a Dark Knight to stun it. You have to chain spell stun it. So otherwise, he kills everyone instantly. We wiped at 5% because someone wanted to save their 2 hour for later.
Oh no!
So they killed. It had been 3.5 hours of prog, and they killed us because they wanted to save it for another group later.
Oh no!
By the way, it cost $1 million gil to enter Dynamis, just to enter it as well.
Honestly, we should have done that with Raid. Spend money to actually get in there.
Yeah.
Video games back then hit differently.
What they're actually worth playing, other than just for the social aspect.
Yeah, that 11 was mostly social. More than I thought. I was way more social in 11 than I am in 14. But talking about social, you've got a load of different social-based events coming up this weekend. Do you want to mention some of them? Hey, segue.
Yeah, I wouldn't even
Alright.
fucking finish talking. Damn. Let's take her into the next one.
Our third anniversary event is this weekend. It's going to be in game on Dynamis Kuchu Lane. I hope I'm saying that properly. Lavender Beds, Ward 9, Plot 3. That's
Do
the
you want to
main one.
mention some
I
of
have
the
other
events that will be
events,
going on?
but oh gosh, okay. Well, there's character artists, there's tarot. We have an RP cantina, which is meant to be like a smaller space for people to actually be able to have conversations. There's going to be giveaways. We have a death roll tourney, glamour contest, the Jello shot challenge, which I think you won at one of the events that we did before.
I did.
Alright.
There's going to be bard bands, lots of bard bands. Should be a good time.
Gonna be a big event.
Before we start anything, I just want to say thank you for hosting stuff like this. It's wonderful to see the community get together and do events like this. It's always this is what makes this game fun, is seeing community events, because when there's lack of actual in-game events by the company, the community is carrying the game. So I can't praise you all enough for what you do.
I mean, honestly, I think if it wasn't for the social aspect of the game, I don't know if I would be playing as actively as I am now.
I
It's
agree with
really
that.
the venues and the RP community that kind of keep me around. And I know that there is a good portion of the player base that is like me.
Yeah, I heavily agree with that. I'm really into lore roleplay myself. If it wasn't for all these people expanding on the Final Fantasy XIV lore, taking the game further than it could be done, I don't think I would really subscribe during patches, and I think there's a lot of role players who are the same. It just allows us to have more fun in the game when, jobs can be kind of disappointing, raid tiers are maybe not quite what we expect, but we can turn to each other and just create this community, whether it's in-character roleplay events or holiday events that we get to visit and connect over. If we didn't have those things, there wouldn't really be much of a point subbing in.
Oh, I agree. I have not really been playing much myself. But I need to go to more of these community events, really, to be honest. So, yeah. So, we've got some questions to ask, and I'm hoping... I know I sent them over, and I'm hoping they're okay. So, we're going to start with the first question. What was your inspiration to start the magazine?
Oh gosh, I guess this is a me question. So, the magazine has been around for a year, but the Aether Entertainer has been around for 3 years. It's our third anniversary. And it all is kind of selfishly centered around my own character's immersive RP lore. Originally, I was a raider in the game. As I said, I played since 2.0. So I had left a raid group, and I don't know, I didn't have another raid group, and I was feeling kind of lost. So I wanted to go to a venue. There's a little bit of a taboo around raiders and venues, but I just decided to go, and I had an awesome time. And I was handed a card, like a card site, which is basically what everybody in Final Fantasy XIV RP uses for their venues, as menus or like for information. And I started just super shy, right? So when I started out, I couldn't talk to anybody. And I would just go to these venues and sit around and watch what was going on. And I would start writing them like little journal entries. And I told myself, if I ever got into this awkward confrontation where I had to speak to somebody, so it's like crazy for me to even want to type at this time, that I would tell them that I was keeping a journal. Eventually, that journal, somebody told me I should publish it. And so I published it on a card site and called it a newspaper. And I posted that in the party finder. That got a pretty good response. And I kept doing that with a small team for like 2 years before we became a magazine.
That's really cool. I'm not going to lie, that is a really cool way to start. I'll admit, I really need to invest into a keyboard for the game, because I type on controller, which can be
Takes you so long.
pain. Yeah.
I watch
If
you on
anyone
stream,
see
I'm
me
like,
stream,
it takes
I'm
you
like,
so long.
1 second, everyone. I'm just gonna send this message in an hour. Just let me type now. Like I'm
I
not
mean,
the
start
slowest. Though. I feel like
GoFundMe.
I'm not bad now, but it's still not
GoFundMe to get
fast.
Chili a keyboard.
My husband has a USB keyboard and still uses his controller to type, so,
Yeah.
sometimes a controller's fine.
Well, you're not the only one. I have the USB keyboards. I had an USB keyboard plugged in, for the longest time, but I was like not wanting to put the controller down to type because I play on controller. So I'm like, I ended up not plugging it back in. I blame the lack of USB ports on the PS5 because there's not enough. But whenever do you have enough USB ports on any device?
Yeah.
True.
So moving on to the second question. Do any of you have any history in journalism or press that inspired you to do this?
I actually don't have any history in journalism or press. I work in healthcare in real life. I'm not even like classically trained in writing. I've not passed. Don't tell anybody this. I've not passed like English 101 at college level. I just started
Oh
writing
my
stuff
goodness.
for fun. Don't.
Oh,
Shh.
so you just said don't tell anybody this on the podcast.
Don't tell anybody on the live stream podcast.
Did I need to
Shush,
mute?
guys, don't tell anyone.
Quick,
Hush,
we'll edit
hush.
it out in the
I
past.
started writing.
Live.
Hush, hush. I started writing just for fun. I will say that there's a lot of people in the Aether Entertainer staff that have like master's degrees and stuff. So there's a ton of people that support me that have a lot of writing experience, but not me.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't
not.
quite have a master's degree, but I do have a creative writing certificate, English degree, then minors in Spanish and Japanese. I've had to say that a lot. I also wrote blog articles for the company I used to work at, sort of like DIY garden type posts, which is a lot of fun. I've been creative writing for 12 years now. So while I don't have experience in journalism necessarily, interviewing in Final Fantasy isn't super difficult because we all kind of enjoy this game. So I can just approach people and be like, hey, do you want to interview? Maybe at this time I can send over questions, blah, blah, blah. And it's not super difficult. Just have fun, honestly. You don't necessarily need to be great at writing to do it. You just have to have some sort of passion or drive.
I'm not gonna lie, that's how I started content creating in Final Fantasy, just in general. I was like, I suck at writing and English just in general, and I'm from England, 10 out of 10. I'm heavily dyslexic, so reading, writing, grammar in general is just a load of bleh. But talking, I could talk your mother's ears off any day of the week. I will sit there and talk, So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go around and interview Final Fantasy 14 servers, and it is up on my YouTube channel as well. Like it was like years ago, absolute years ago, and I had shitty mics and stuff like that. It was too good, but like it was just so easy to sit down and just interview people about the game and sit there talking. Again, I don't write. I wouldn't know how to write anything but yeah, that's it. Good way to start. Just sit down and interview person.
I feel like a lot of our employees, I think we're at 30, 36 people who contribute to
gosh.
the magazine right now. So it's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
I think for a lot of the people who work at the Aether Entertainer, they're in it for the creative writing aspect of it. I would say because I'm not really a writer. I mean, I guess I am now, but I'm in it for more of the experience. There's a lot of really cool parties and events and shows and things that you would not even imagine that you could do in Final Fantasy XIV that people are doing. And by creating a journal or a publication in the game, it was giving me access to these people and these experiences. And that's really what motivated me to keep going, more so than the writing aspect.
Do you ever get any good tea?
Oh my god, all the time.
Yes.
All the
I
time.
love getting the tea.
It's so stupid because I hate drama. And I've never published. We've never published anything that is like really truly dramatic or like
Yeah.
we don't deal in all that.
Oh yeah,
But at
drama.
the
Okay.
beginning-
Yeah. Being British, my brain just went straight to tea.
like tea time.
Nah,
Yeah.
spill the
No,
tea.
no,
Spill the
talking
tea,
about
Chili.
like that thinky tea,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the drama.
Yeah.
Not
Brain
Earl
went straight
Grey,
to the
you
drink
know.
instead of the drama.
Not Earl Grey tea. No, we need bitchy tea. That's the one we're going for.
At the beginning, the Aether Entertainer was a role-play newspaper, and we wrote everything from an immersive perspective. And because we called ourselves a newspaper, people would just drop into my DMs and be like, "This person did this,"
Oh no.
and send me screenshots.
That's
do
got to be
not.
so exhausting.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, and I was dealing more in the club scene at the time too, because now we do a lot of more creative type of venues. But initially, we were just heavily into like nightclub scene, and I would get people just be like, "This DJ did this DJ did screenshots and all this stuff," and I can't do anything with that. That's not what we're here for. But yes, lots of tea.
By the way, I do feel like the DJ scene is a lot more quieter than it used to be. It got really crazy at one point from what I at least from what I saw. It's definitely quieter now than it was.
Yeah, it's a little more positive now, but maybe a year to 2 years ago, it was pretty toxic.
Oh yeah, there was a moment. Yeah, again, because I do a lot of content creation, although I wasn't really involved. When you hear about it,
With the tea, Ryan.
By the way, while we're talking
I was
about this,
in
I
my
just want-
own bubble.
Sorry. All right, while we're talking about the website, I just want to talk about how amazing your website is. Incredibly, I love how the pages of the magazine, the design, the whole website itself feels more advanced than the actual official Square Enix site.
Our web developer is really good.
Yeah, so we have one web developer. He's fantastic. He's been at the Entertainer since the beginning, and I actually met him from working at another in-game publication. And I'll say it, I sniped him. They closed down. And I sniped him over to AE, and then
No.
design.
Yeah, you better say like sniped him. It's like, yeah, a business term. You got him.
Anyway, it was worth it because the magazine looks great. As far as the internal design, that's from just a team of designers that we brought on.
Well, pass on my congratulations to the designer of the website. They did an incredible job. I just want to pass that on if that's okay. Seriously, I'm impressed. I guess
I have
moving
to
on.
admit, it did scare me when I was going through like the apps, like the actual page of the magazine, and then music started playing. Almost gave me a heart attack.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
moving
we've
on
played
to the
a
next
lot of,
question.
a lot of different aspects of the magazine. We've tried to add like videos and sounds and things like that to make it a little more fun.
Yeah, make it a
Yay,
little
my
bit more
non-reading brain. Yay,
Well,
pretty pictures.
I think that's something we added kind of early on. We did a text to speech, right?
Okay, so if you go into the first Aether Entertainer, most of the articles have like a text to speech playback where the little guy reads it to you, and there's like background music, and it's awesome. That is an incredible amount of work.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It's already a lot of work to put out the magazine, but that wasn't something that we could do feasibly every month. But if you go into that first release, it's really fun because it'll read the whole thing to you. Maybe even the second one too.
Maybe
That's
that's
really
something we
cool.
could go back and do. I don't know.
Yeah, if we
I
ever
mean, you can
had
go back and do older
staff.
episodes, issues later on,
Mhm.
maybe. So thank you for doing stuff like that anyway.
Make it full screen.
By the way, Joseph, have you had much to say? I don't think you've been able to say much. Is there anything you'd like to add? Sorry, I don't want to like make you feel like.
No, that's okay. I didn't want to jump in or step on anybody's toes.
Jump in.
I was just gonna add. I do have background in journalism. I actually went to school for TV production, and I've always been a big local news guy. I actually worked at our local TV station for a couple of years. So I feel like to some degree I can help a little bit. Like I kind of, I was not a journalist myself. I was more of the technical side of things, running the camera rather than being in front of it. But I spent a lot of time around journalists and talking about stories and trying to help. And so, some of that does help with writing for AE, because I do write, I do edit for the magazine and all that. But I'm always impressed because I think a lot of the AE writers understand the newsworthiness of stories better than some journalism students that I've seen, or better than some actual journalists. They kind of understand the point of reading your story. That's the main thing you want to get across is why should I care to read your article? And a lot of them do a really good job with their thesis and how they present the article. So yeah, I'm always pretty impressed. Maybe not the highest remarks because I'm not a journalist myself, but I've seen enough professional journalism that I have things I can say about it sometimes, I guess. So yeah, but I agree. Some of my interest in joining AE is the writing outlet. not, I've RP'd a ton, and I type too much with everything that I say and every reply I do. So this was kind of just a logical progression of writing in Final Fantasy for me.
And please step in. Seriously. We'd love to hear your thoughts on stuff as well. So please, if you've got something to say, just jump in.
Please don't step on my toes because I am disabled and I kind of need it for the weekend.
That's fair. Yeah.
I don't need to go out again tomorrow, so you can step on mine if you want. But I'm a Lalafell,
Right.
so you're probably just going to step on
You might
me,
crush him.
so.
I was about to say I don't want to step completely on you.
And not like that, by the way. I don't know what your audience is like, but I just want to.
You made it weird.
Look,
I wasn't going to
by the
say
way,
anything, but
we are fine with NSFW, just in case it's Twitch, so there's still limits, but like you don't have to worry about that. Just want to make sure you know that. Okay.
Oh my
So
god!
I just want to not like that. I don't know what you're like, but not like that. Okay.
For these,
Look, I've been in this community long enough. I know as soon as I said that sentence, that someone out there had the idea.
Yeah.
you didn't have to bring it out.
So we're actually releasing a first NSFW
Yeah.
magazine this weekend
I
as
saw
well.
that.
I'm just gonna
I'm
take that segue.
Yeah.
We have. I'm thinking maybe we'll probably do this every year. There is another NSFW magazine in the community, and we have a pretty good relationship with them. So I don't want to step on their toes by doing a
The
release like this.
Gooners of Erosia. No, is that one? No,
I'm not familiar,
that our magazine.
but ours is like pictures of the staff members of our own magazine's butts and charities that they want to support. I joke, but we took a bunch of like pictures of our own staff and put them in there. NSFW
cool.
ones. So if you want to see that, come to the event.
Yeah.
You want to see that butts coming? I mean, butts. What is that? What was it? 36 butts.
it's for
50
charity.
pages. It's 50 pages of butts.
50
And other
pages
things.
of butts.
So yeah, sorry,
Sounds
it's the
like a good
risque issue. I think it's called, right?
Yes. Risque.
Yeah.
For charity.
Yeah, for charity. Yeah, it's for charity.
That's how we justify it.
Yeah.
Butts for charity.
Look, I'm not. It's up to you to do it. I'm not. Yeah.
Butts for charity.
Well, I guess moving on from
What's the next
that,
question? Next question.
If you could interview or do coverage on anyone in the community, who would it be?
So this is the one that I thought the longest about because I had an instinctual answer and then I had the more logical answer. And I feel like the logical answer is Yoshi P.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
Soken. Okay, because they're like the golden egg that we're probably never going to obtain. The other answer for me personally is Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy is one of the oldest content creators in the scene, period. And I used him as a joke in the very first orientation that we did with the staff about trying to get good leads. And I have been too scared to actually message him for an interview.
Oh, just ask
So-
Chili to do
Now.
it. Literally, just ask Chili to do it. He got on Jesse Cox. He's got on all the. I'm like, yeah, just let look. I'll let you borrow Chili for an hour.
Yeah, get us Mr. Happy.
There you go, Chili.
There's
your job.
Trust me, Mr. Happy's a very nice guy, and if you contact him, there's a huge chance he will do it. So yeah, please, just I don't want to be a spokesperson for him, but every time I've met him or chatted with him in the past, he has always been very kind to me. So again, I would recommend just contacting him, or if I can help you after the show, find a way to contact. I will do my best to see what I can do to help out.
That's awesome. And I would just say
And
that
Yoshi P
that's
stuff,
probably
I will
not
see
the-
what I can do to help out.
I would say that Mr. Happy thing is maybe not the point of view of every person at Aether Entertainer. It might be just a personal one. Because I've had other employees suggest Pint. Who else? Help me out, guys.
Pine, the one that does the videos and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
Black
Pine. He did a lot of
Paper.
WoW stuff. Yeah, he did a lot of WoW stuff, and they came over to FF. I remember that. I remember him. Anyone else?
Have we done Xenosis yet? I'm not really.
I actually reached out to Xeno a couple of
Oh,
times, and I never heard back.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I've actually interviewed the two people I really wanted to interview. I did the Synodic Scribe interview, and I did the Draconis Gamestein interview. And those are honestly the two people I wanted to interview most. I really enjoyed doing those interviews. It was a lot of fun. I think for now I'm just going to try to go to more small roleplay venues because I run a small venue myself. And I feel like there's this tight sense of community and lore in those areas. So I'd like to kind of do more in-character interviews. I've kind of been slacking on those the past few months.
Yeah, but Drac is someone I would like to talk to.
I guess if I'm going to answer my own question, I don't know who I'd like to interview more. Like I've been lucky enough to interview a lot of people that I've wanted to in the past. So both as press and on Moogle go around. So I guess I would like to just have more small community members, more community. I don't want to say the word small, but I would like to have more community member event people on, so we can promote and talk about different types of community events that are going on. I think that'd be for. It doesn't matter who. I just would like to do more community based stuff in the future. I'd like to give as much as back as we've got over the years. And you, Paul?
Drac is a good one because I watched Drac and I think he got me into raiding a lot more than I used to. Who else? I wouldn't mind talking to Arthas, but I wouldn't know what to talk about because I just so like Arthas and like Synosis Vex, I think are just too smart in the raiding scene, and me dum and I'm not the best raider. If anyone watches me, I am shocking. I'm just there. I'm just me.
Maybe Rhiannon would be interesting. He has some interesting raid takes.
Currently looking through who I follow on Queer.
Oh, and I'd like Rin Karagami at some point, actually.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've been following Rin for a long time. I used to main healer when I was a raider. Back in Heaven's Ward or whatever.
Yeah. I used to be a monk, and then I switched to healer, and for most of the tiers I'd been healing. This is the first time for a while where I actually DPS'd. It's why when I cleared the first tier, like the first floor in Savage in this expansion, and they're like, Chili, you can roll. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that as a DPS, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to being a healer that I'm like over here crying in joy that I can hit the roll button and don't have to wait a month and a half before everyone else gets the loot.
Cry.
And yeah, I still want to go back.
What
to
about
healer,
you,
not gonna lie.
Joseph?
Yeah, Joseph, what's up?
I really would like to get the Xeno interview for sure. I mean, if you like tea, Xeno always has tea on things. So whether he's on the good or the bad side of it,
I watch his videos of drama while I'm sitting here painting, and I'm like, "Oh shit, that happened!
Oh yeah,
what?"
Yeah, and you don't have to go too far back in the archive to find lots of good ones because end of Endwalker, nothing was happening, and it was all drama coverage.
Yeah.
But again, he does do like really good videos because he goes into it, which is good. Which I think more drama channels should, and not just put out random stuff. But yeah,
he's definitely one. The pipe dream is soaking for me. I know it's pretty far out there, but the music in game is like it's so important, and like there's a constant, like, no matter what, there's points in the MSQ that I enjoyed and I didn't enjoy. There's parts of the game that I like and I don't like. But like, it's very hard for me to find a track in the soundtrack that I don't like.
Yeah.
And just to composing a single piece of music is already like enough of a challenge, let alone a whole soundtrack for multiple entries in a franchise, and for like almost all of them to be bangers. It's just like how like, what does the creative process look like? Like, how does he come up with these things? That's what I want to know. I know that would be such a hard one to land, but man, like, I just want to pick his brain.
I guess in that vein, I would also have to pick Koji because linguistics, lore, translation, that stuff is really interesting to me. But I don't think he's necessarily on the Final Fantasy XIV team anymore, or if he is, he's just a supervisor. I wanted to get that FanFest interview so bad, but I didn't win one of those tickets.
I did, and all I did was ask about my poop hat, so...
I
Jokes.
did, and then I gave it to Chili,
Yeah,
and then Chili got me the autograph of Yoshi P, which I currently have framed over there.
Yeah.
So
The Vegas Fan Fest was very misorganized. I hope the EU one was better.
No, it was okay. Well, the UK one was okay. The only issue for me was the music was too loud, but that's because I'm old.
Oh, that's always an issue for me too. I get it.
well, it wasn't that it was too loud; it's that it was poorly engineered. Where
Mm,
it was good for like one of the sound tracks or one of the songs they did, but it was really bad for like the heavy like metal kind of stuff. It
For
was
the
just
normal
so bad.
tracks, it was okay, but as soon as there was like any like guitar or anything like that, then the whole place just started shaking.
that's
basically.
unfortunate.
Where it was just
So-
more of like just pure noise than it was an actual rhythmic song. So
Yeah.
We had waiting
I
in line
enjoyed it from
simulator.
outside. Well, yeah, I
Oh
remember
gosh.
Yeah.
because I was at 2016 and 2018 Vegas Fan Fest. I remember, was it 20? Was it? I can't remember which one it was. It was one of them where they had to get the fire marshal in because the queue was so long for the merch line. They were actually breaking fire regulation.
Huh.
Yeah, it was so bad that the fire marshal had to tell Square Enix to stop because they had too many people in line. People had been queuing up for since 1 a.m. with laptops out playing LAN parties, waiting for the doors to open to get in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was.
It would have been better to wait at 1 a.m. this year because it was like 118 degrees Fahrenheit, which I think I Googled it. It's like 49 Celsius.
it rained here for half.
Oh, I would have loved that.
It rained.
Yeah.
While we were out in the long line, we met up with Mione and some other peeps, and
Oh,
it
that's
just started
cool.
like pure like raining. Like this was my first fan fest, and I'm very shy like IRL, mainly because of my looks. I am terribly ugly. I look like, was it Thingy from the Goonies? That's what I look like. Like, hey, you guys. That's me. But
Yeah, but people like him.
that's true. But it's all about personality,
Yeah.
But I was very scared, like going there and like seeing there, and also I was with Chili, so it kind of like made like ease up a little bit. But then I went back to I did go back to a dirty habit because one, that venue didn't take cash because London does not like taking cash. So, and I at the time I didn't have like a debit card or like a credit card to like buy stuff with. Even though Chili did offer for me to use his, as a person I just didn't feel right doing it, and so yeah. In the end, I went out and just bought cigarettes, and that calmed me down.
We also forgot
Don't
to eat
smoke,
till like
kids.
11 p.m. So
Yeah, we didn't eat at all when we were there.
They
Didn't
barely
eat at all.
offered food. Oh my
They
gosh.
did offer
Like
food.
the only way, I think the only way we had like drink was there was an ice cream truck outside the venue. It was an ice cream van, so we just kept going there for like drinks and
Yeah.
stuff.
They made
But in
bank
the end,
from all
yeah.
the people at the fan fest because that was literally the only place that was open, really.
Yeah, they didn't do food well at the Vegas one either. There were no options inside, and then they had like 2 food trucks that sold out quickly enough. No, wait, there was an option inside, but it was like an hour wait for pizza. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
where it was
we
like
went
a
there a
burger
day
place,
early, didn't
but-
we?
Yeah,
We went there
Yeah,
a
'cause
day
we went
early.
there
We
a
had
day
the
early,
burger
had-
place there.
yeah. We had the
We had
went to
the burger that
place.
was in there.
And
They weren't
ended up getting a picture of
bad.
Yoshi P because he was walking past the burger place as we were eating.
Yeah, and I like saw him, and then like people that were sitting around us were like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's Yoshi P." And like Chili got up, one of the girl got up, and she was like, "Oh, can you just watch my stuff?" I went, "Yeah, sure." I'm just sitting there eating my burger because one, I am a cripple. I'm disabled, so my walking speed very slow. So and I'm scared. So I just sat there, just ate my burger, and just watched stuff with people. I'm like, "Yeah, just gonna sit here eat my burger."
I was
Sit
I
there.
was scared the first fan fest. I will never forget my first fan fest where I was in line and I was just chatting with some random people. I was just following the tallest Americans I could find because I'm short. So if I'm near tall people, no one will notice me because I'm short, and therefore I'll be safe. And I'm talking to random people, and then someone just shouts out "Chili," and I'm confused, and they're like, "Yeah, we knew it was you because you're the only British accent in the crowd."
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, can't stay hidden for long with an accent. You really can't.
Ah,
I still think the best thing about FanFest, which I thought was, do you guys know Preach?
I've heard of him.
Yeah, the guy that went to who did a lot of WoW content, then came over to Final Fantasy, had a good time. And I don't know what he's doing now because I haven't really played it. But I actually had a smoke outside with him while having a conversation. Me and him just sat outside having a smoke. That's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty weird.
anyway.
Here's
At
what
the
I-
end of the day, we're all just gamers.
At the end of the day,
Okay.
apparently a lot of fucking gamers smoke. Apparently, so it was just really weird. That's cool.
So I think that's
Right, we
everything
do
about
have
the
another
community
question.
stuff. What
The
plans do
question-
you have for the future with the magazine, or just in general?
With the magazine, I would say our goals are to stay consistent. I
Take
being
over
that
Times
it's
Square, right?
I would just want to be consistent and release every month. The first time we did the magazine on the card site, I was not as consistent. I had deadlines, but I would kind of follow them here and there. But I feel like over the last year, we've been really consistent with the deadlines.
Yeah.
And our team doesn't have like minimum workloads. The contributors just contribute when they want to. So the fact that we've been able to put out a magazine with roughly 30 pages every month has been pretty crazy. So I guess the goal is just to keep that up and to keep finding good contacts and stories. Beyond that, I don't know that I'm looking to grow anymore. I mean, maybe in terms of readers and people in our Discord, sure. But I really like where the magazine is at. I mean, I want to grow in terms of design and writing quality. But other than that, just kind of power for the chorus, you know?
I think personally, I kind of want to keep trying to up the ante on guest interviews because we've talked to a couple of voice actors from the game now, and there are some others that are definitely high up on my list. But when I like joined the magazine, that's not even something I considered being in a position to do. Like talk to one of the voice actors from the game.
Yeah.
So now that I know, like, hey, we kind of have some opportunities and some connections here to like really interview some really big names. I think I kind of want to step it up more and keep adding to that roster of like, how did y'all get this person to interview? Like that's really what I want to go for.
And Joseph asks every person that he interviews whether a hot dog is a sandwich or not. And I feel like that is so important to know about these people.
It's taco.
I feel like
I have heard that answer before. I have gotten
I had
one.
that brewed. I was like, it's a taco.
I would consider it a
Technically, I
sandwich.
guess it would be a taco.
It's it's just like it's a question we like. I was a debater in college, so like when you're on the debate team, you argue about friggin' everything on the side, and that was one we argued about all the time. But I always find it to be kind of like an interesting, almost like litmus test of somebody's personality. Of like, do they take it literally, like my idiot self, where I'm like, okay, well the definition of a sandwich is yada yada yada, so therefore it is. But I also like to see people like argue something passionately or something like more emotional. You get all kinds of answers, and like I really do feel like it tells you something about them that just the interview alone may not.
I would
We're
consider a
currently
sandwich.
about 50-50.
I would consider a
We're about
sandwich
50.
just because you could accidentally cut the bun in half and still eat it. So, like, if you just slice it to open the bun, you could cut for it too far and still technically consume it. Like it, then it's a full sandwich. I would just consider a sandwich.
Right. I mean, from a 100% objective, actual fact standpoint, it is a sandwich because
Woo!
most dictionaries will define a sandwich as 2 pieces of bread or a split roll. A bun is a split roll.
Interesting.
So-
Yeah, it is.
But that's how I see it. But you get some really interesting answers. Like half the time, I'd say more than half the time, I don't expect the response that I get.
I call it a taco because I eat it like I would eat a taco.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Shit. I'm like,
I feel like it's more closely related to a taco than a sandwich. I don't think a hot dog is a sandwich. I fall on the
Okay,
other
so
side.
But you've got open face sandwiches as well. So
Who is eating an open face sandwich?
most
Me.
people,
No.
the rich,
Open
Lalafels.
face.
I can picture
Sandwich.
Lalafels doing open face sandwiches.
That's just like you just put it on toast. This is like a toast.
Yeah, it's more like toast. Or
It's
like
like a
beans
toast
on toast or
sandwich.
something.
Yeah, it's like I've done beans on toast, like
Account
avocado
foods,
on
account
toast.
of
Like,
foods I can't eat now. The foods that make me less British.
I don't think
uh,
I have many
oh,
plans myself for the future. I think I just want to be more creative, but I think I'll continue supporting the magazine as is. I've had a little bit of burnout from the game, as I'm sure a lot of people have,
Mine's a bit bad.
but I'll just continue going as I am.
yeah, keep rambling. I believe it. Like anything towards the future.
Yeah, I think Joseph's goals are pretty commendable, though, because, like, in retrospect, like, I've been watching Draconus for a few years, and then I was able to interview him. That's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's like the same with like when we had like Mr. Happy on and stuff like that, or Jesse Cox. I've been watching Jesse Cox for years. Like even when he didn't play 14, like he was just playing other games. Like when he was playing like Total Biscuit, God rest his soul. You know, like I got to sit and have like talk with him twice. Like I was like, damn, like that was sick. You know what I mean? Like I think that was just meeting other content creators and stuff like that, and like things you've watched from. Yeah, I think I was watching Jesse Cox when I was like I think it might have been in my teens. Well, when did I break my foot in sixth place?
Oh,
I was in
gosh.
college. I was about 17, 18 at the time. And I used to sit there and watch like Jesse Cox and Total Biscuit play like Terraria or some shit like that. And I'm like, that was old. And I'm like, whoo.
Yeah, I think a lot of content creators, like, I don't know if I could consider them smaller, but I guess compared to like super big YouTubers they are. But I think we kind of just like supporting each other and helping raise each other up. And it's fun to just talk about people or talk with people about the hobbies that you have because it's just fun.
I mean, that's why we started Moogle Around. We were like, yo, I want to just basically sit down, basically like you're at a bar or something, just sit down, have a drink, talk to some friends, and talk about
Yeah.
like games and stuff. That's like the whole point of it.
Yeah, I
No,
was the editor for
okay.
your guys' article. It was fun to read over.
Was it an
Sorry
article?
about that. Thank you, though. Thank you for having us on. Oh. No, I had an energy drink and I just
Okay.
knocked it over and it went everywhere. So, I had
Oh,
to rush to
no.
go get. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys caused me to write. Yeah, I didn't like that.
Like,
It was all
50%
worth
of
it
the
in the
drink
end.
just went to the floor. So.
I think it's worth mentioning that every time we interviews with somebody, they always write their own answers. I mean, we like edit it afterwards, but they always write their own answers. We don't
Yeah.
transcribe the interview.
And we'll edit for clarity, do grammar changes if need be, but we prefer to have people's own words. I will only change things if something's super confusing, but we're here to spread other people's
everything
thoughts.
I wrote down. Thank you. That's all I need to know.
Yeah. I don't recall changing anything that you guys were saying beyond making grammar flow a little more. And
Yeah.
sometimes
Exclamation
the
point.
word count can be a little iffy, but we try not to change anything majorly. And I don't think we have, but if we did, we would contact the original person and say, hey, does this look good to you? Do you feel like I'm misrepresenting you or anything? And then they'd let us know.
And I never get contacted, so yes, I did something right. Good. I hate when I have to type to. If I can't type to people in GIF form, then I'm not good at messages.
Perhaps we could transcribe
Fun-
GIFs.
Well, we could just put the GIFs in the magazine. So every time
True.
you respond with one, we'll just boop right there.
Yeah.
And then, so next time, you can do that. We'll just put it in the magazine.
So just a full page of just GIFs. Oh yes,
I'm just
it
thinking,
just
like,
writes a story. You have to go.
Yeah. Hieroglyphs, but with Giphy images.
Yeah, good images. That's the way I want the world to work now.
We're only going to submit our article in Wingdings.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh no! Well, and I appreciate having the interviewee write their own words, like, hand them a sheet of paper and be like, write everything yourself. I feel like print journalism, you run the risk of losing some of the interviewee's voice in the article if you're just transcribing the interview. So I really appreciate that we still get the opportunity for that person to speak or to write how they would speak. And I think you can tell from article to article, it's interesting because people do write differently and do describe things differently. So that's always something I've appreciated about that style of interview.
About that, I just recently interviewed Sarah Jane. So that's the cover for our next magazine. And she's from Melbourne, so she's got an Australian accent. And I love her. As I'm reading back her interview, I'm reading it in her voice. And she's like, "We'll give it a go." And I'm like, that I could hear it, like, because it's her words.
Yeah.
I think Sarah Jane keeps coming up on my recommended on YouTube of them looking at sussy, what is it, sussy? What are they called now? Profile pictures in Final Fantasy. I don't know what they're called now. Adventure plate. Adventure plate. There it is. Adventure plate.
Oh yeah, sussy adventure plates.
Yes.
That's what we do in the venue when you're visiting venues. That's what most people do. Just peep adventure plates.
Oh,
Yeah,
I do that in the
100% stalk
overworld.
people. I will stalk you.
Really?
No. I will look at your AP for sure. So
I will do that
see what y'all
stuff
are
in the
doing.
overworld, in dungeons, in trials. I'd be looking. I always be looking.
Nowhere is safe.
Yep.
As a
Hey, if
PlayStation
you
player,
make
I
if you
always-
make them, you want someone to see it. I'm
True.
seeing it.
As a PlayStation player, I always examine people and then check to see if they're on PlayStation, because you can see if you're on PlayStation, you examine someone, their PSN is at the bottom, so you know they're a fellow PlayStation player.
That's cool.
Mm.
I think you can do that with Xbox too. I'm not 100% sure though.
Yeah, but I've heard that's still really censored, so we'll see. That's poor. That poor censorship issue, which by the way is not Final Fantasy 14. That's just Xbox in general. Yeah. Well,
Level
our final
100 and no
question.
play. What are you doing with alive? I was doing story. What do you want from me? I didn't know this
Yeah,
thing existed.
You're right. I've seen people at level 100 with no play. I'm like, I don't know how you didn't make a single plate at all. It confuses me when I see that. I'm
Some
like,
people
how?
are just very casual, like my husband, who hasn't done anything. He barely even reads chat. I have to tell him, I'm like, hey, someone, messaged you about like that thing over there. Then he doesn't even respond. Some players just really like playing the solo type game.
You know what? I like your husband. That's exactly what the fuck I do.
You just play your game. You don't look at other
Play my
people.
game.
Don't talk to me. I just want to gather my notes.
Yeah, see, he likes gathering as well. You see, it's
There are two types of players. They're the players that will walk around a person and the player who run right through them.
Yes.
True.
I look at glams, and then when I like message someone saying, "Hey, your glam is like top notch," I usually just get blanked. So I'm like, "Yeah, rude. Let's walk away."
They might be AFK too.
They ain't got the symbol there. I don't believe it.
It takes like 10 minutes for the symbol to pop up.
I know because I sit there for a long time, and I'm like, "Ah, cool." So yeah,
So yeah, our last question for the evening, but I thank you again for joining us, is any advice for future writers or content creators that might be inspired by your content?
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's been awesome. So I guess my advice would be just to start, because I have no experience. And still to this day, Aether Entertainer doesn't have really an experience requirement to join. So if you wanted to start, you could always find me on our website and shoot me a DM if you're interested. I could help you. Otherwise, just start. Just start making content. And the more you do it, the better you'll get.
I more or less agree. I say the same thing myself. The few people I've interviewed who are content creators say the same thing. Just get out and do it. If you want to do some research beforehand, you can. But you can't edit what's not written. So it's better to have something that you can learn from and improve from than just to be held by your own fears. Because honestly, it's a lot less scary than you might think.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't know. Is it a cop out to say like if you're inspired, then just join AE or come right? But I mean,
quick, we need more slaves. I mean, employees.
there you go. For legal
We need more
purposes.
spies.
Wait, volunteers, employees get paid. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Volunteer employees get that. That's crazy. I mean, I guess my biggest advice I think comes from how Aether Entertainer has carried itself thus far, and it's that consistency is super important in any kind of content creation. If you start small, that's fine, but if you are consistent, things kind of fall into place and algorithms do their thing and people start to notice. And AE has grown a lot since I joined. And you see it in like Twitter metrics, you see it in like views and retweets,
It's crazy.
yeah, and
It's
a lot
crazy.
of that. Yeah, and we've had really big cover stories and like really hot topics in the magazine. But I think a big part of that is the consistency itself. Releasing every single month and sticking to that routine. I think that's super important.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to. I mean, I've been here 13 months now. It was definitely serious when I started, but now it's like a huge thing. Everyone looks forward to it. It feels like super professional and serious. It's kind of cool just that we all get to come together and make a product and come together as a community, celebrate other aspects of the community, and have a positive experience.
Yeah, just keeping the name and the content in circulation and putting it out there just means more eyes on it over time.
I believe in that fact. Just look at what we've done. Nearly 9 years of doing this consistency thing.
I'm sorry, internet, but yes, nearly 9 years we've been consistent. Like
That's crazy.
Consistently shit, but still consistent.
But now we've always tried to get a podcast up every 2 weeks. Of course, there's been times where it's been maybe once a month instead of every 2 weeks, but on average, we've tried to be every 2 weeks. Like real life stuff, of course, can affect
two a
that.
month, at least two a month.
We always try to keep a consistent of 2 a month.
Unless Paul is on holiday, in hospital, dead from something, ill from something.
Hey, I've been ill and away too.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Chili's being ill, or Chili goes on holiday, which not very often, but he sometimes does.
No, mostly to get Wendy's.
Yeah, halfway across the town to get Wendy's.
I still remember when I still remember 2 years ago when I'm like, I really want to try Wendy's breakfast, so I booked a hotel just so I could try it because I had to travel. What was it, 8 hours at the time to get a Wendy's?
Oh my gosh!
Oh, it's not
I didn't
worth
even know they had breakfast.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
It's not.
Yeah,
That's so worth it.
Fast
It's so
food
worth
kills
it.
me. I already have back issues. I can't do it.
it was a 4-hour train there and a 4-hour train back, and
He got stuck on the way back.
Oh no!
yeah, it ended up being like 7 hours on the way back.
Oh
with
my
all the
god!
delays.
We were getting updates from Chili on Discord. We were like, Chili, what's happening? Why are you lost?
But
It
the
was
hotel was nice.
transported
It was
mirror
a
dimension.
converted garrison into a hotel.
Yeah, that sounds
So-
cool.
Oh, that's
Converted
awesome.
garrison.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was a really cool hotel. So Wendy's breakfast was really good. I'll give it that. I enjoyed it. So I didn't come back later in the afternoon so I could have the meal as well. I didn't do that. Don't tell anyone
He
that.
double dipped.
But I just want to say thank you to our guests for joining us as we wrap this episode up. We'll be back, as you know, in 2 weeks' time. But before we go, can you shout out your event and all that stuff? I know you said at the start, but for those who've just
Give
joined
us
in,
everything. Give us
all
your
the deets.
apps on the Twitters. Give us your PayPal's. I don't know, give you your social security number.
no,
who
not that
knows?
much. Just your site stuff. Thank you.
Joseph, you do it in the voice, please.
What?
There's a voice.
It's me? There's a voice? Wait, whoa, huh?
Can you do it?
Wait,
Can
we're
you
doing
do-
voices.
Okay, yeah, I can run down everything. So the website is where all the magazines are posted, every single issue up to the current one, and that's Aether Entertainer, ffxiv.com. We have a Discord server. There's a link to it somewhere on there, at the top of the page. If you're interested in joining AE or you want to know a little bit more, have your ear closer to the ground on what's going on with Aether Entertainer, the Discord's a great place to be for that too. Announcement posts go out all the time, and you can apply in there as well.
We do pay Gil. It's not a slave service.
Yes, yeah, we will pay you. I promise.
I'm a lullaby. Can I be
Um,
paid in head pats?
I think it could be arranged. Maybe
Yay!
someone will deliver it, I'm sure. And then, of course, with the biggest thing is the third anniversary at AE Cafe in game. It's in Dynamis on Coochie Lane, however the heck you say that. Lavender Beds, Ward 9, Plot 3, all kinds of bards, every kind of service you could possibly want. Jello shots. We have some gambling. There's a bar service. Oh man, we got a prize wheel. We have a death roll tournament. All kinds of stuff. So come say hi. Come check out the new magazine releases, both the regular issue and the risque issue.
Does the risque issue come with like a brothel? Like, is that like in the
No.
castle? And okay.
We haven't gone that far yet.
Folks,
No.
just for us single folks, you know.
My role play is safe for work. We'll have a role play room, but it's safe for work.
Yeah, everything is going to be like PG-13 at the
Okay,
event.
good.
But it's also everything is free. Like you won't be charged for anything. You can come get art for free, tarot for free. Like if you've ever wanted to try something and you're short on gil, come because
The
there's
role play
everything.
will also be free.
Yes. It's come spin the prize wheel for free. You get a free item. We have like 1 million mounts and minions. My inventory is completely full. Please help. Come take these things, please. Let's see. Am I forgetting anything? I think I've covered the big stuff.
Thank you guys for having us. It's been awesome.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you. It was
thank
a
you
lot
so
of
much.
fun.
For a
Thank you for
voice, and
joining
it
us.
just sounded like your normal voice. I thought it was
That's
some
what
like
we're supposed to
epic,
do.
like in the end, you know, like.
I missed the memo on that, I guess. I don't know.
We got
All
the
the
third
time.
year Aether Entertainer magazine issue. Come by for a rootin' tootin' time.
Please don't.
See,
That's my
see, there
weakness.
we go.
I'm from Arizona. I know how to talk cowboy.
That's my weakness. Please don't. Well, if we're doing voices, remember to like and subscribe. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Is that okay?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
So,
2 weeks.
Oh God, save me,
Yeah,
Doctor Who.
From the bad voices.
Doc-
We've got by the way, we should hopefully have the damn it, I don't want to say it right. We've got the fish. We're going to hopefully have the Fish Fest event talked about next time on the next episode.
Fish.
So yeah, if you like fishing, there's going to be a huge fishing event happening on February 22nd next month, and we're hoping to have some people from that event come to the show to talk about it on the next episode.
I will definitely be there. I went there last year. It's a lot of fun. You should go.
Yeah, I was there. I caught my first pride fish. I was very happy.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. I see. I love fishing, but it still makes me cry inside because I got the Saint of the Firmament on Aether with fishing, and yeah, you should have seen me on stream after 24 hours of just streaming me fishing, because I streamed most of it. I was just losing my mind by the end of the stream, as I'm.
It
Just
was
I can only
most-
imagine.
It was our most watched stream at the time. It was great.
Yeah, yes, because they liked watching me lose my mind.
Yeah, and I didn't have to do absolute shit. It was great.
Uh,
I
all
popped
because-
in every
all
now and then to
because-
see how Chili was doing.
All because I wanted to be spiteful to the Aether community. I'm sorry. There was one person that was shouting that they wanted to get the title because they wanted to make sure that nobody else could get the title because they had the title before. So they wanted to get it again so that less people could have it. So because if you couldn't have you could be in the top 13 again. You couldn't get the title again because you already had it. So they wanted to be in the top 13 so that someone in the top 13 couldn't get it because they wanted to make it more valuable so that
because
forced me
they're a butthead.
that forced me from not caring about the title to be like, okay, I'm going for it. So yeah, that's why I went for it. I
You
really
poor
didn't care in the
soul.
first. I'm like, yeah,
No. He did the goods. He fought evil. He was the
Right.
hero of the story.
Yeah. Yes,
So it did
spite
cost
was
him
my
his
determination.
sanity and to never look at a fish the same way again. You know.
I couldn't believe I actually had to work out a macro fish so I could work out the time needed for a specific point fish because there was you had to catch between 12 and 17 seconds, but make sure it was a double hook. Otherwise, it wasn't worth hooking because I can't believe how much
I
effort
enjoy fishing in every MMO. I love fishing. ESO, I would just get sidetracked. I'm like, oh my god, there's a fishing hole, and I just go off and fish. Same for was it Black Desert Online and stuff like that. I love fishing. In WoW, fishing, it's great. It's not as interactive as Final Fantasy's fishing or crafting in general, but it's fun.
And it's not as deadly as Final Fantasy XI's fishing. Final Fantasy XI's fishing is more deadly than Final Fantasy XIV's because Square Enix okay, shame they did. And in some ways, I'm happy they didn't do this with 14, but to counter bots in 11, rather than like trying to change things around, they decided that they would just have monsters that spawn by the fishing point if there's too many people that are AFK. If there's too many people AFK at the same fishing spot for too long, then it spawns an enemy that will attack them.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, a goblin fisher
I
will
wanted the
spawn if you're
pirate.
there too long. Yeah, if you're there too long, a goblin fisher will spawn and attack you. So
It's math.
Crazy.
Get out of here. I still think
Anyway.
with yeah.
thank you to the Aether Entertainer for joining us. We'll be back in 2 weeks when we can find us on twitch.tv as Moogle. I'm ready. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on all audio things. Paul, thank you as always. It's always nice chatting with you.
Hell yeah.
And thank you to everyone that's joined us today from their community. Thank you so much. And by the way, if you're watching this later, thank you to Wobsy for the raid as well. Thank you to everyone for the support today. Thank you for the love. Thank you for everything. See you all in 2 weeks. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Woo! Goodbyes.